Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Today we're taking a look at what sold on eBay. And we are looking at June 1st through June 9th. So the first of the month through this past Sunday. And then we'll be back next week for the next week. Hopefully we'll get back to doing these what sold videos weekly rather than bi-weekly. Just like every video I do, we're going to start with the plush, and I do show you every single plush sale. I love plush, and it is my favorite, so I do show you every single plush sale. It's also very long tail, and you don't sell as many plush as you do other items, so I can show you every plush without being here till next Wednesday. And then I have the highlights of our other sales. We sold a ton of our usual suspects this week, our jeans in brands that we typically sell all the time, American Eagle, Gap, bread and butter shirts, scrub tops, jewelry, bread and butter comics. But I do have a rhyme and a reason, believe it or not, for all my highlights I pick out to talk about with you, whether it's because it's a good brand or a good style. Sometimes it's simply just because it's a home run and it's exciting and I want to share it with you. And sometimes it's a mistake I want to help you avoid. So let's jump on in with this Gans Webkins the Glamour Gecko. You guys, the Webkins are hit or miss, and I've been saying that on this channel for a long time. So if you've already heard me say this, sorry that you have to hear it again, but new people need to know. If you're not okay with the filler and the bread and butter items or the volume-based business, you need to comp every single Webkins you find in the wild. Whether or not it has a code doesn't play into the price point as much as you would think. It does play into it some. But I have had Webkins with no code that have sold for lots of money, and I've had some with the attached code sell for very little. It depends on the actual plush that you have. There are some very obscure ones that are hard for people to find, and collectors pay a lot for them. So when you comp them, they're going to comp higher. And there's some that aren't as desired or sought after. There's some that are oversaturated. So it's important that you do the research and look them up. However, because of our business model, the fact that we buy most of our items in bulk lots, especially the plush, I really don't buy plush as one-offs anymore. I do the bulk lots, the wholesale lots. And so I list everything I get, whether it's poop or not. But if I was out in the wild and I saw Webkins for 50 cents or $1, I would pick them up. I don't mind having the lower end bread and butter ones. But once in a while, you find one that's real exciting and worth a lot of money. If you're not familiar with Gans Webkins, when they're brand new, they come with a code. It's like a little card inside of a plastic sleeve that's tied together with a blue ribbon, almost like a hang tag. It's usually on their foot or their ear. If the ribbon is sealed and the envelope is sealed, you can say that it's a sealed code. If it's been opened or they don't have one, you would say no code. These are codes that people used to use with these animals. They did something on the internet. I'm not sure if they still work or not. People do ask me that, and I'm not sure. Anyway, on their tush tags, you're going to have a number. You always want to put that in your title. That's what the collectors are looking for. And they're going to have an actual name, and you want to use that in your title as well. Because buyers tend to not read or pay attention to what they're buying often, I like to put no code in all caps in the title. I like to, again, choose no code in the item specifics. And if you have these in the right category, that is the item specific eBay will fill in for you. And seller notes, no code. And then again, in the description box. So hopefully it will come across them at some point that there's no code. Next, we have this white monkey. He is a vintage plush, but he's not a brand. He's just kind of like generic vintage plush. So I just put really good keywords in there, and you guys can do that too. Even if you have plush that have like a generic or a well-known brand that's poop or whatever, but it's a really cute plushie or a holiday plushie, leave the brand out of the title and just put the really good keywords to sell the animal. This guy sold for $15 plus $5.50 shipping. We have a Reese's Build-A-Bear costume. This sold like within a couple of days of being listed. And I did take a $12 best offer. I originally had this up for $15 plus 5 shipping. $20 is kind of high for one piece of Build-A-Bear clothing. If you watched my plush video that I put out yesterday, you heard me talk a lot about Build-A-Bear clothes in that video. If you didn't watch it, I'll have it pop up at the end here and you can watch it. But I talked about how I typically charge like $5 a piece for Build-A-Bear clothes, and I try to build lots. This is a specialty item. It's branded with Hershey's. It's Reese's peanut butter cups. So I price it high. However, I run sales and I take offers knowing I'm not going to get the 20. But if I had listed this for 12 plus my 5 shipping, then they would have wanted an offer of 10 or 8. So I listed at 20 so I can run my sale and sell it at a good price. And sometimes I'll sell at the high end too. So there's always that bonus. Anyway, this is really cute. I love Build-A-Bear clothes. I probably like Build-A-Bear clothes just as much, if not more, than actual plush itself. All right, we have a Kelly Toy pink unicorn. This one sold pretty quickly too. You guys have heard me say it before. Plush is one of the slowest categories you're ever going to sell in. Very, very long tail. Takes up a lot of room. You have to have a lot of patience with plush. But sometimes you'll list one, then you'll be in the right place at the right time, or somebody's just looking for it. This Kelly Toy pink unicorn sold for $9.62 plus 5 shipping. You could see a lot of these items sold when they were on the 30% off sale we run on the weekend. Kelly Toy is a good brand. It's just like I was saying about Gams, though. You want to check it before you buy it because some is worth more than others. Speaking of oversaturated, did I mention oversaturated with the Gams? I think I did. There's a lot of Disney plush out there that just isn't worth what it should be. Part of the blame is to fall on that race to the bottom. A lot of people have this mindset of, oh, it's just a stuffed animal. Oh, it's just a plush toy. It's not worth much. And this happens a lot with Build-A-Bears as well. People don't realize what they have, or they don't care, or they just think of plush as garbage. I mean, that's why you can pick it up for so cheap at yard sales and church sales. And it used to be really cheap at thrift stores because people see plush as just throwaway toys. They're not, and then we should be pricing them higher, but it is what it is. This is the Disney Junior Muppet Baby, Fozzie. I mean, this should be worth a lot more, but, you know, life is disappointing, isn't it? So he sold for $9 plus 5 shipping. Dandy's another brand that's hit or miss. There's some Dandies, especially the larger bears and the holiday themed bears that go for a lot of money. And then you got like this little Halloween pumpkin that sold for $8.31 and $5 shipping. However, it does make noise and stuff. It's really cute. I had a couple of these. I think there was a ghost as well. Build-A-Bear skateboard. I took a best offer of 7 on it, plus the $5.50 shipping. A Melissa and Doug Farm Friends. You guys see these pretty often in my haul, in my what sold videos. You guys see these pretty often. I get the Melissa and Doug puppets often in my wholesale lots, and they're usually from a set. And parents are looking for these replacements all the time. So they're not going to sell for very much, but they sell pretty regularly for me. This one I took a best offer of $4.50 plus the 5 shipping. You want to talk about poop? I have a Thai Beanie Baby. I got a box of Beanie Babies once upon a time. I tried the Goodwill Blue Box of Plush, and I got all Beanie Babies. Wasn't I thrilled? I went ahead and listed them. I didn't make them a priority or anything. I think I just took like a day where I was either doing a true crime listing party with List Perfectly, or I was watching a movie on a Saturday and I just photographed them. Most of them I lotted together and made lots so I could sell them for more. But when I ran out of other ocean or sea animals, I just started listing, you know, the shark by itself. So he sold for $3.50 plus 5 shipping. All right, those are all the plush that sold from June 1st to June 9th. Now we're going to take a look at the other items I've pulled out to go over with you. So this is a Plains Western Wear, which is a super good brand of men's Western shirts, Pearl Snap specifically. Keith and I love Pearl Snap shirts. I'll buy any brand of Pearl Snap shirt. This is a really good brand to look out for. You will notice, however, that this sold for 50% off. If it's 50% off, I've moved it to our clearance category, and I'm selling it at 50% of what I originally wanted because it's a year or older in our inventory. Plains Western Wear will usually sell for about 15 to 20 plus shipping. However, this was a size small, so it was a hard one to move. Your size smalls are always going to be hard in men's clothing. It doesn't matter what brand, what style, Pearl Snap. If this had been an extra large Pearl Snap, it probably would have sold for 20 plus shipping within 6 months of being listed. So just keep that in mind when you're sourcing. Again, Keith and I buy a lot of our stuff wholesale, so it's not like we're at the thrift picking these off the rack and saying, hey, a size small is a good idea. Although, to be honest with you, if I found this for 99 cents, I'd pick it up. So you just have to determine that for yourself. But size smalls are hard to move. But if you find Pearl Snaps, especially this brand or Eli Cattleman, and especially if they're the larger sizes with the long sleeves or they have the embroidery on them, grab them, guys. Keep your eyes out for that. But we still $9.37 plus $5.50 shipping. Finally moved the small. American Eagle, these sold for $9 plus $7 shipping. So that is $16 for a low-end mall brand bread and butter of jean shorts. I talk about jean shorts and booty shorts, denim jackets, denim skirts all the time on this channel because it doesn't really matter the brand. You can get good money for them. If you're getting them for low cost of goods, it's a really good return on your investment. This is a Walmart brand, Time and True, size 10 jean shorts, cutoffs that sold for the same amount as the American Eagle. And these are Walmart. Don't overlook the jean shorts, guys. Adriana Goldschmied. These are great. I love Adriana Goldschmied. I start the men's around 30 plus shipping and the women's around 25 plus shipping, give or take, depending on the size and stuff. This pair in particular, I took 25 as the best offer, and it shipped. They chose the $8 ground shipping. We do have a business policy set up now for jeans that weigh over a pound. There's a ground shipping for $7.99, or they can upgrade to priority for $9.99. What that means for us on our end, the ground shipping is usually about 5 or 6 our cost. I don't refund the buyer. They see the total price when they check out. They were willing to pay that total price when they checked out, and they paid it. I also have to pay the 15% fees on whatever I collect on shipping. And then I have my supplies, my bags, and all of that stuff. So if they're paying $8 and I'm paying 5 or 6, they paid $8. I still lost $1.20 of that in fees. So technically I only gathered $6.80. So you're not like ripping the buyer off. And so yeah, $7.99 for ground. We pay about 5 to 6 depending on March shipping too, sometimes up to 7. And then if they pick the $9.99 priority, I do the cardboard mailers, which are like $7.90 now. They used to be less, but again, everything keeps going up, right? Which is why we should stop racing to the bottom. Let me just get on my soapbox for a minute. That seemed like the perfect segue. If the cost of everything else is going up, obviously folks are going to have less discretionary funds to spend on shopping on eBay because they're having to pay more for groceries and their bills and their gas and everything else. However, if the cost of everything around us is going up, 2 things happen for resellers. We need more money to make ends meet. If everything else is going up, groceries, gas, bills, we need to make more money to cover that as well. And our cost of goods is probably going up, and our fees, and our cost of shipping, and our cost of supplies. So the answer isn't to lower your prices because people have less discretionary funds. The answer would honestly be to raise your prices because everything else is going up and that's inflation. But if we're selling stuff that's a want and not a need, you raise those prices and people don't have the money to spend it, you're kind of biting off your nose to spite your face. So holding tight at the prices we've always had, and then just being willing to run sales and do best offers here and there. But the answer isn't to lower the prices, because if you're paying more in your personal life on your groceries and your bills, you're paying more for your cost of goods, you're paying more for all your services and your fees and your shipping, and then you start lowering all your prices, that's not a good business model. So stop lowering prices. Really, if you need to be the first one to sell something, if you need to sell all your stuff fast and quick and before everybody else, run a sale. Don't bring down the entire value of a brand or the entire market so you can sell your stuff first. Price it what everybody else is pricing it and run a 75% off or 50% off sale, but stop racing to the bottom. I can go on, I can get on a soapbox and talk about this all day. I've seen it happen on World of Warcraft. There was an auction house in that video game where you could list items for sale, and whatever you listed yours for, the next guy went 5 cents under you, or 5 gold or silver or whatever. And the next guy went 500 that and 500 that and 500 that and 500 that. And before you knew it, something that you had discovered in game that you could sell for, say, 500 gold is now worth 2 gold. That's an extreme example, but it even happens in World of Warcraft, and I've seen it. So it's a problem. It's a rock that rolls downhill. It's poop. Just list items of what they are valued at, what you're comping them at. If you really have that desire or that need or whatever it is that people have, that they have to be first at everything, or you need to sell yours first because you need the money quickly, that's fine. But, for example, list your silver jeans at $40 and run a sale that knocks them down to 10, but don't price them at 10. Okay, I'm getting on my soapbox. We're going to talk about this Cloth and Stone by Anthropology. I got this in a thread up box, and I do like when I get different denim items in there. The DIY denim box is just that. It's denim. 90% of the time you're going to get jeans, and then sometimes you get jean shorts and denim shirts and denim coats and mini skirts and long, modest maxi skirts, which sell really well, by the way. I do like the different denim stuff. It just gives me something different for my store, and most of it does really well. Anthropology used to be a brand that, believe it or not, sold for a lot more. We're back to that race to the bottom. But anyway, this I took a best offer of $14 and the $5.50 shipping. Here is another pearl snap shirt. This is a vintage genuine Robux. This is a large, so I don't know why it sat long enough to go on our 50% off, but it did. It was over a year old, so to the clearance it went. Took a $12 offer on it, plus the $5.50 shipping. You see, I can clear stuff out. I can get rid of stuff. I can move stuff, but not by trashing the market. This is a $25 shirt. So before it was clearanced in my store, I would list it at $31.24 and run a 20% off sale through the week, which would put it at $24.99. That's its value. When I need it to move, when I need to get rid of it, I knock it 50% off. And then I can take a best offer on top of that if I really wanted to move. But if someone were to look at this and see that it was 50% off, hopefully they know how to comp and look at the original price before the sale. All right, we have a couple pieces of jewelry I'm going to show you. We've been selling some jewelry. The more jewelry I list, the more I sell. Just like with overall in general, the more you list, the more you're going to sell. Active stores, happy stores, they like to say. But also, the more volume you have, the more you're going to sell. And that's generally, and that's within the categories. When Keith first started listing comics, we sold one here, we sold one there. I think the magic number is around 700 to 800 active listings of one item. If it's an item that's, oversaturated, like jeans, comics, plush. But once we had 700 comics listing, that was when we started selling 1 or 2 a day. Sometimes more than 2 a day, sometimes a lot in a day. Sometimes people buy bundles, but we didn't start seeing like the consistent daily sales of that particular category until we hit about 700 active listings. So for me, that's the magic number. We are a high volume business model, and the jewelry, I've just got about 700 active listings of jewelry now. Some are still scheduled out to come out because we schedule our listings ahead of time. So we're starting to see more consistent sales on them. And I just wanted to share a couple with you. These were new on the card, so that was pretty cool. Everyone knows Ralph Lauren isn't what it used to be. I remember when I first started being a reseller, and my whole life, I've never been into fashion or jewelry or anything like that. You guys have heard me talk about that. But my whole knowledge of Ralph Lauren was that Rachel on Friends worked at Ralph Lauren, and she was, a big executive, and it was the end all be all brand in New York City and expensive. And when I started to be a reseller and saw all the Ralph Lauren at the thrift stores and started comping it on eBay, that just wasn't the case. But I was excited to get these because they were new on the card, and they're nice. They're nice looking earrings. I did take a best offer of $17.50 plus the $5 shipping on these. Again, I price high, so I have room to wiggle. And this necklace is it unbranded, which 99% of the costume jewelry that I buy in the bulk lots is unbranded or handmade. And I just put unbranded or handmade. And I just use really good keywords. So this is a yellow, chunky, beaded, multi-strand statement bib necklace. And these are actually seed beads if you have room to put that. These little tiny beads like this are called seed beads. But this, I took a best offer of $20 plus the $5.50 shipping. And, big statement pieces like this do really well. And you can sell for like $20 to $25 plus shipping. And then I was going to show you, speaking of comic bundles, we did have one of those this week. These were all like our lower bread and butter comics, but one buyer bought like 7 of them, and they used our promotion that we have. So we do have a promotion in our store that we set up in the sales tab on the back end, that if buyers buy 2 or more, they get a $7 shipping flat rate. We have that set up specifically only for our comic books and our jewelry because it allows you to pick your store category. So I picked our comics and our jewelry. So if they buy 2 or more comics or 2 or more pieces of jewelry, they get a $7 flat shipping rate. He bought 7 comics and they weighed over a pound, and it was still only $6 to ship them. So think about that if you do have a lot of one category that's lightweight. For instance, ties, jewelry, comics, video games, anything that's kind of lightweight that people may want to buy more than one of, you may want to do a promotion like that, and then they're more inclined to buy more. And he bought, a lot of number ones. I was telling Keith when we were bagging them up that a lot of these were like the first in a series, and I'm like, maybe he's starting to read new series. But these are the comics that he got, so that was pretty exciting. All right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. It's called Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Until next time, go be productive, go make some money, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.